what we know right now. Here's the thing to remember. At this point, it's just a proposal, but that is important for your teams to understand where that intersects with your CMS right now. There's some planning to start here. It may be that eventually some of you may not have to do this, but I'm going to share with you where the line in the sand is right now. I think there's some information to be shared with management about what the expectation will be moving forward, what the resources possibly will be, talking to vendors about software and things like that. And really probably the biggest one is starting to talk to your departments, your business lines, and to get buy-in. The immediate thing that's going to happen is you're going to mention this to a commercial lender, and they're going to say, I'm a commercial lender and I don't have to do compliance. Now I'm stereotyping there purposefully, but you're going to get some pushback. The best thing that you can do though is give them some information up front and try to allow them to be part of this, part of the solution, so that you get the buy-in, so that when it does come time to actually have to do this, things go a little smoother than they otherwise would. So I'm going to give you some information here. You're going to continue to hear more about this. This won't be the last time this hits the monthly connection. We've got some training out there. If you're going to be part of our virtual conference, we're going to hit it there as well. So here's some things that we know right now. I want to talk about just kind of the why behind it. I mentioned the Dodd-Frank Act. This is a fair lending evaluation tool specifically for small businesses, as well as those that are women-owned and minority-owned. That's the focus of this. It's to get data about those small businesses, as well as those that are specifically women and minority-owned. And they're going to start measuring the fair lending that's associated with them, how you're going about that business, the pricing, the underwriting, things like that. Now, the timeline on this thing, it hasn't quite hit the Federal Register yet, but once it does, we'll have 90 days as an industry to provide feedback. And so if a comment letter is something that you'd like to write, I encourage you to do that after you learn a little bit more about the rule. There'll be plenty of them out there, but there are several things that they're going to want to hear about, and I'll give you some of those as we walk through this. The expected final rule. So this is a proposal right now. The crystal ball that we're looking at goes something like this. Based on how they've laid things out, I'm going to kind of work backwards. What they're saying is that they're going to, when this thing goes final, give our industry this 18-month implementation period. Well, if we kind of backtrack to when they issued the proposal to when we think the final rule will come out, okay, since this is something that likely takes effect on the first of a calendar year, what we're looking at is probably a final rule no later than June of 22. So if you think about it, if comments start rolling in the next 90 days, plus a few, and then they start to evaluate those, they should be able to work through most of that before the end of June of 2022. If they get the final rule out by June of 2022, what that then looks like is a January 1, 2024 mandatory compliance date for everyone. And so that's where that 18-month approximation comes from, if you were to go and read the rule and the summary that goes along with it.